Live from Pittsburgh's historic South Side, it's USL Championship Soccer and a top-shelf matchup tonight in the Eastern Conference on ESPN+. I'm Matt Geico alongside Paul Child and Gene Klein. As usual, Lou City, the two-time defending USL Cup champs, turning it up on the home stretch, unbeaten in August coming into this one. And the Hounds, they want to keep everything the same. They are unbeaten at home since last July of 2018. And lately, they've been good too, Paul Child. And it's been about getting a fast start. Steven Dos Santos signed in the offseason as a free agent. He's been providing the offense early in each of the past two games.
No, he's doing a great job for the club, getting those early goals in the first 5 minutes. In these two games, as you can see right here, just putting the ball away and so much confidence and composure too.
He was brought in to help Nico Brett at the top, and he has 8 goals. Nico's got 10. I'd say it's working out pretty well for Pittsburgh and head coach Bob Lilly. As for Lou City under John Hackworth, it's about the veterans. It's about the returners. Gene Klein, 18 players returned from last year. I know they're missing a couple of guys tonight, but still plenty of continuity on the field.
Absolutely, Matt. They are missing a few, but here's one that will be in the starting lineup. You see Luke Spencer Barry one there early. They have a lot of experience. We see here's Brian Omi, another one of the experienced players, finding Antoine Openo for another terrific goal for Lou City. These guys know what it takes to get back-to-back championships. They know what the grind of the season is about. They'll be ready tonight.
Oh, both teams started slow. The Hounds were winless in 3. In fact, when they went into Lou City and Slugger Field back in April, they got their first win, though, as Nico Brett scored from the penalty spot late in the second half. You know, it's been a struggle for Lou City in this attempt at a three-peat in 2019. They've been playing from behind. Well, so were the Hounds. In this one, they got the win, and ever since then, both teams have been pretty darn good. April, March, not so great, but these two squads are really lined up to give us a good one here tonight. And there you see Brett bearing his first of 10 so far on the season. A tight matchup last time. We expect a tight matchup again. Hackworth v. Lilly and the Hounds against Lou City. Coming up next, the kickoff on ESPN+.
How do you turn you have cancer into you had cancer? You have us. Which means you have CAR T-cell therapy, your own nurse navigator, innovative surgery, a panel of pioneers. Everything it takes to help more patients turn you have cancer into you had cancer. If you have cancer, you have us. The AHN Cancer Institute.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC season tickets for the 2020 season are now on sale with special early bird pricing. Until October 5th, fans can enjoy a 20% discount on all season tickets, from club level to the supporter section and everything in between. For more information on season tickets, please visit riverhounds.com or call the box office at 412-865-GOAL.
Gotta keep them separated. Hey! Man, you disrespecting me. Take them out. Gotta keep them separated.
Explore a world of music on WQED.
Explore sweater sessions on WQED.
Explore educational opportunities.
Explore science.
Explore early childhood learning.
Explore Nebby on WQED.
Explore the power of the arts.
Explore Pittsburgh Eats.
Explore diversity on WQED.
Interesting setup for tonight's matchup between the Hounds and Lou City. Two teams very tight in the Eastern Conference standings. The Hounds haven't lost in 22 home matches, but they've never beaten Louisville City here at Highmark Stadium. One of those weird things. We'll see how it plays out. Well, one of those two will probably have to give unless we end up with a draw, in which case, forget I ever said anything. Let's look at the Pittsburgh lineup tonight as we come to you here from the south side of the Steel City. With Thomas Vankiazil out, he's with the French Guiana team at the CONCACAF Nations Cup, Gene Klein. So that means Mohamed Dabo gets a shot here in the defensive midfield to help bolster that back line.
Yeah, and I don't think that's not a big drop-off, Matt. I mean, we saw a lot of Mo Dabo last year. He had some injuries early on, and I'm sure he'll slot in very, very nicely in the center of the park in that holding spot.
For John Hackworth, usual formation for him and Lou City, the two-time defending USL Cup champions, is a 4-3-3. So, Paul Child, the Hounds will be facing a three-man front with Luke Spencer right there at the top, the captain.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be no problem here. This is going to be a real good game tonight too, Matt, because these two teams are just going to play real hard and tight at the beginning, and I think we're going to see a lot of openings for them.
Well, speaking of tight, there's the Eastern Conference standings. Pittsburgh in 5th. Yes, as hot as they've been, they still can't get into that top 4, it seems. And Lou City hot on their heels, 4-0-1 coming into this game in their past 5. So there you see it. They can actually climb to 6th and be right there, 1 point behind Pittsburgh with a win here tonight. The Steel Army in full throat, the Hounds in white, and Lou City in purple and black. First half presented by #1 Cochran, as always.
Yeah, Matt, I think
come to you from the shores of the Monongahela River.
As Paul says, it's going to be a heck of a matchup. I mean, two of the hottest teams in the league right now. I think it's what you call a 6-point swing, right? I mean, because if you drop 3, you have a lot of making up to do, Paul.
Definitely, for sure. And I'm looking forward to a real tight and good game, and hopefully we get some goals in it too.
Pittsburgh coming in with 13 wins, Louisville with 12, two teams with legit championship aspirations. As Ryan James will possess it for Pittsburgh. The Hounds starting a 2-match homestand. They'll take on the old guard Charleston Battery next week, but for right now, it's as big of a challenge as they've had all year. Lou City loves to possess the ball, guys, but it's tougher here on the tighter pitch, the faster surface, artificial as well. A little different from what they're used to at home or on the road, typically.
Yeah, and I think John Hackworth alluded to that earlier. And here's a good chance
for Spencer, and poked off his boot. Will this be?
Boy, that was a great opportunity for Louisville right there, and they just kind of let it slip away because the one player taken off down the right side got all the space in the world and just cut it back instead of sending it across the box.
Yeah, and I started to say Lou City likes to be very expansive. They like to open up the game. And John Hackworth knows it's a tighter pitch here, and they're going to have to deal with it.
The Hounds love the high press here at Highmark, and also on the road. They ran it to a T at Ottawa last week, scoring twice early on off turnovers. And here's Dos Santos, who had a goal and 2 helpers last week. Handing it off. Mo Dabo, native of Senegal, backtracks. Louisville leads the league in passes completed. They're one of the top teams in possession, 58%, also in passing completion rate. The Hounds are near the bottom in both those categories, but they've gotten it done their own way. And here's James stretching out to take a long ball.
Oh, great ball.
James has crossed. Dos Santos couldn't get on top of it as he was defended by Alexis Swahi in the 6-yard box.
That was a great run by James there because he held his run just right and kept himself onside. And what a good ball to him as well.
Yeah, I thought for a second, might he be a little bit offsides, but he did hold his run, Paul. And then he, great delivery. We see it there. He's off to the races.
Sure.
I think Suwani keeps him on. He delivers his ball, and I'm thinking, oh, there we go. Another first compliment goal by Steven DeSantos.
Yeah.
Well, the Hounds are ready to play. If you're not ready to play, they're going to strike. They're going to get you, or at least create a chance as they just did there. Throw in for Lou City, and it's Oscar Jimenez. Foul called against Louisville. Dos Santos falls to the pitch. Sean Toch was the guilty party. Toch, the former Rochester Rhino, knows Bob Willie very well, and vice versa. A couple of former Rhinos on this Louisville squad.
So, and again, part of that veteran leadership we've been talking about, although they are missing a few guys this evening, and it's going to be a test of their depth, but I'm sure that they're going to be well prepared for the challenge here tonight. But it's they don't have a Paco Craig with yellow cards. They don't have a Brian Ownby. They don't have a Nal McCabe. They don't have a Paulo de Piccolo, and Speedy Williams is off with Jamaica for CONCACAF stuff. So those are some key guys, and it's going to be a difficult challenge for Lou City. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh just missing Thomas Vonkie-Azil, as we said earlier. They should be ready to go.
Yeah, DeSantos there trying to do his usual thing and shielding the ball and holding it up, and they picked it off him that time, and hopefully that wakes him up and he gets it going right away.
Here's Kyle Morton playing it out of the back to Joe Greenspan. Morton, 10 shutouts in his first 19 pro starts. He's already 4th in Hounds history in shutouts. And he played 3 times last year, had the knee injury, and he's been, for the most part, the #1 starter since the beginning of May or so. Jimenez inside the touchline, faced up by Kevin Kerr, the 7th-year Hound. Right back to Alexis Swahi of France, 24-year-old, under some duress, and Jimenez helps out, switches play to Taylor Pay on the far wing.
I think it's going to be interesting, Paul, how the numbers work out in the midfield. You know, both teams are going to play with a back four, but Pittsburgh almost with a 4-4-2. And we're going to see Robbie Mertz and Kevin Kerr probably come and play a little bit narrow and really tuck in pretty tightly to deal with the trio of Tosh, Masoso, and Rasmussen. Again, a veteran group there in the midfield who can play.
Sure.
But it's 3 versus our 2. So.
Gino James has been looking to get down that left wing too. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because Robbie will tuck in.
And he'll take off.
I've Kevin here on the other side to provide some numbers in the midfield, and that's going to leave the flanks for Jordan Dover and Ryan James.
Napo Matsoso signed last year during the playoffs. Now he gets a big appearance here on the road in Pittsburgh. He's number 27 in purple. It's back to Taylor Pay. Goes long to his opposite number, Toby Adewole, now the Hounds leader in minutes. He heads it clear. And Lou City loves to keep the ball, even in a challenging environment like this one. We'll see if they can do it. We'll see how successful the Hounds are at preventing them from hanging on to it for long
free
stretches.
kick coming up.
As I said, I think it's going to be interesting what happens in that midfield and where, you know, where Kevin and Kerr and Robbie Mertz and how they complement Modabo and Canardo Forbes. We know Canardo likes to control that tempo, and it's going to be a real interesting matchup with Louisville City's midfield.
Set piece for Jimenez. He takes the vast majority of them after the foul called by the head referee, Elton Garcia. First time seeing him this year. Solid service in, but Greenspan rises about 10 feet in the air to head it clear, and Brett slugs it down further.
And now trying to get it, because he's the guy up front too as well.
There goes Nico, number 9, at the top of the formation. 2 goals and an assist last week. He was the player of the week in the USL Championship.
Yeah, he's been hot.
He and Dos Santos, they each figured in on the other's goals last week at Ottawa, as Pittsburgh built a 3-0 lead with those two shining. A 4-0 win at the Fury. That was a statement for Pittsburgh. Now 4-3 and 3 away from Highmark. Jimenez tries to go the direct route. No sail. Greenspan's there to head it off. Dabo hopping away from Matsoso. And Adewole finding a crease for Robbie Mertz, the Pittsburgh native.
Yeah, it's really packed in there, isn't it, Gino?
Really
it's
is.
really compact.
Really
Everybody's really picking up tight. Nobody getting free. Kevin Kerr's been trying to get on the end of a couple of these balls and hasn't been able to do it either. So
Brett went flying, no call. Back come Lou City. Abdul Jam. Jam's deflected cross. Greenspan in front of it. Adewole to the corner.
Took a weird bounce for Joe Greenspan, a little awkward header on his part, the way that ball was bouncing. And finally, Kevin Kerr has some space here a little bit, Paul, and we see Jordan Dover flying up the right flank.
Dover
and here come Mertz.
Cutting in.
Oh.
Trying to slide it through for Brett. He would have been wide open on that right wing if the ball could have gotten through. How about Dabo stepping up to keep the ball alive?
Great job there.
Pittsburgh keeps it. Kerr.
Kerr in his favorite spot.
Gallops to it. Crossing it in. Back post. And a little too far for Dos Santos as the keeper Hubbard scrambled over. Now it's Dos Santos against Taylor Pay, formerly of Real Salt Lake and the Monarchs of this league.
That's not a
Dabo
bad ball.
gets a good foot to this one. Kerr back across toward the spot. And Brett just a hair late. Dover steps up. Brett shoots off of Swahi. And put up into the air by Opino. Still trouble for Lou City. What is this? Offside.
Offside, yeah.
Dover came in from an offside position when the ball was in the air.
I don't know. They're complaining about that one. I didn't see what happened there. I didn't see an offside, did you?
Flag was in the air here on this near wing.
Oh, you think he went back and came back across?
I think he went back.
That was the signal, yes. From Ryan Graves on the near side. Alfonso Fajardo is the assistant referee on the far wing. And Brandon Ray is the fourth. Gotta love the energy, though, so far, guys. It just feels like a playoff
Here's
game,
a
doesn't
replay
it?
on the offside.
Yeah, there he is.
Dover moving. When that ball was played, he was offside.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a real interesting tactical matchup. You have two of the absolute most respected and experienced coaches in the league, and Bob Lilly and John Hackworth. They know what it takes they know how to prepare teams. Their teams are going to be prepared. They know the challenges each other faces, and it's going to come down to some moments of the game, I think, really.
Yeah, some mistakes.
Who's going to take advantage of certain moments and make the right pass, or is there going to be a mistake or whatever, because they're going to be both very organized. The matchups are making it very difficult, very compact in the midfield, as you pointed out, Pete.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there's nobody out wide, and can't get free at all.
And adjustments will come, as always. The Hounds have lost just 4 times here at Highmark under Lilly in all competitions, USL and Open Cup. And in regular season play, it's 22 straight without a defeat. Greenspan gave it up, but right back over to the Hounds. Dabo.
Oh, I think Brett was offside there.
It would have been, yeah.
Well, they wouldn't have been able to continue. And Brett takes a high boot on the wing from McMahon.
Play there.
My goodness, yes. Up near the shoulder at least, or on the shoulder.
That's a quick one. James with it, and he's going to get a good cross in here. DeSantos.
That left-footed boot, Dos Santos, and just couldn't get over the top of Swahi.
I thought he timed that one just right there in between the two players, and just didn't get quite what he needed. And obviously, referee thought he fouled as well.
James has had some success on that left side, and they'll be looking to continue to play him there.
There was a question of timing and cohesion with Dos Santos early in the season. It's not the case right now, because every time he makes a run, the ball's right there. Guys know where he's going to be, and vice versa.
Now, they've really got it together since the beginning of the season. DeSantos has really come a long way and wins a lot of balls and gets on the end of some great crosses.
39 career goals right now in the USL for Dos Santos. Here comes Lou City, though. Men in purple can't make it happen. Spencer, a heavy touch. I think he was trying to go back to Rasmussen, but it didn't connect.
Yeah, there's Kevin Kerr playing back to Adewale. And really, I mean, back to your point with Dos Santos, we've seen 3 crosses delivered, 2 from Ryan James, 1 from Kevin Kerr.
Sure.
And both of them been directed toward Dos Santos. I think the other guy, the key here for Pittsburgh is what's Mo Dabo going to do in the midfield role, because he's been a guy that really has not been in the lineup a lot, and he has a really significant challenge tonight. So, and so far, he's looked very good, very active, covering a lot of space in behind.
A flick on Mertz. He's in the 18.
Oh, what a good effort.
And a stop made, but it's offside. Hubbard parried it away. It all started in midfield with Kerr and Forbes playing catch. It loosened up Louisville just a little bit, and next thing you knew, number 24 was breaking away down the pitch.
He was very close there. He wasn't that far offside, to be honest with you. He was just half a step, and
it was tight. They're paid to make
this
close
guy.
calls.
He's off, but I'll tell you, Sawani's is playing pretty deep, and even on that one before, he was, he was playing a little bit deep, and he could be keeping him on side. So they're going to have to worry about that a little bit with their back line.
Yeah.
Reminder that Select is the official ball of the USL. Many leagues worldwide of high quality. Go to Select Sport America for special deals. As Dabo, he got his boot into the Select bicycle kick style.
Dabo's buzzing tonight.
Yeah, he has
He's
a lot of
really
energy.
closing people down and jumping in on in tackles and winning balls before the other team can get a touch on it. I mean, he looks real sharp.
Well, he hasn't played a lot this year, comparatively speaking. He had over 20 starts last season. This is just his 10th tonight. He had the hamstring issue for a while, but he's been healthy for a solid couple of months. It's just, who do you take out of the lineup?
Yeah,
and tonight
exactly.
It's Bonke Israel because he's away on national team duty, but the point stands.
Nah, I was about to say, I don't think it's anything to do with how Mo Dabo's playing. It's how well the other guys have been playing, and you don't want to mess up any good combinations. So, but this is a great opportunity for him, and that's why I said earlier, it's going to be really interesting to see how he responds.
Matsoso from Opino, and now Jimenez. Antoine Opino was picked up from Tampa Bay, a trade. Lucky Kasana went the other way. And Opino's been playing at the top of the formation ever since arriving here a couple of months prior. We saw in the highlight package in the Open, he's gotten into the attack too. He's cashed in a couple of times.
But yeah, that's going to be a good matchup with him and Jordan Dover over here on this on the Louisville City left flank.
I don't know why DeSantos decided to go into the middle there. There was no reason. I thought he was going to cut this guy off, but he made it easy for him.
Swahi doubling back. Taylor Pay. Lou City lost 2 in a row to close July, flirting with the bottom of the playoff zone. I don't think any of us saw that coming. Hubbard, nearly a missed touch with Dos Santos in his face.
This guy's a goalkeeper. I think they got to put some pressure on him, Gino, as quick as they can, because he doesn't look very confident right now with these kicks, with his kicking ability.
Well,
he just
certainly not with that one.
hesitates. And I thought he before too.
Yeah.
Greenspan, the Navy man. Over to Dover. Count on Dover and James on the opposite flanks of that back line for the Hounds all year long. Outside of the Gold Cup stint for Jordan Dover, it's been 7 on the far side, at least from this perspective, and 5 on the near.
Oh, that's a good ball. He wasn't offside that time.
This time is onside, and Mertz cuts back. Mertz's cross. McMahon blocked it down. Rasmussen to Jam, and back to McMahon, bottled up a little bit.
You know, they played that ball to Robbie Mertz, and Alexis Wani's putting his hand up, looking towards the AR, and he was the one keeping him on side. As I said before, like he drops off pretty deep, and he's kept James on side a couple times.
Yeah.
So I think the Hounds have to continue to play those diagonal balls.
Yeah,
they're going to be on.
Bob Lilly said his team needs 3 if they want to move up in the standings. 1 would be fine if they want to hold their position, but they want to get in the top 4, and so does Louisville, because that guarantees that first round playoff game at home. Both these teams have had so much success at home. Lou City, including the playoffs in the last couple of years.
Whoa.
Forbes, a deep one, 2 deep for Nico Brett.
I'd go for the goalkeeper, right?
And that's what he's doing. Well, pushing him to pick it up at least.
I would have kept him, trying to keep him outside the box, but you got to pick up his speed quicker.
Hubbard, the starting keeper for Louisville. This is 13th appearance. This ball skate out of bounds here. Louisville native, graduate of Trinity High School. He was the Gatorade Kentucky High School Player of the Year, was Hubbard. Went to Notre Dame.
Yeah,
and
he's been...
he and Ben Lunt sharing the
I
duties
was
year.
about to say, Matt, Ben Lunt, the Akron product, who was drafted by FC Cincinnati, and I believe might be on loan.
Yes, that's correct.
But he's not traveling tonight, so we won't see Ben. But he's a terrific young prospect also for Louisville, and I'm sure FC Cincinnati keeping an eye on him. Maybe he's with them. I don't know.
Possibly. That's always in the mix. Missed kick here from Adewale. Wow, that was a wild one.
Gives Cincinnati could use some help. So.
I've seen that from the MLS standings, yes. Our old friends here in the USL. Well, Louisville was upset when they lost their River City rivalry with Cincinnati. Now they've got one going with Indy. It was a 1-1 tie last Friday. That was a great match at Slugger Field. Indy, along with the Hounds, tied for the toughest team to beat in the Eastern Conference this year. Each of those 2 sides, Indy and Pittsburgh, have just 4 losses on the season total. Greenspan looking over here, and Indy's coming in at the end of the month. That might be the match that decides whether the Hounds do get into that top 4.
Into the top 4, yeah.
But this one's right up there in terms of importance. You drop points here against Louisville, and suddenly the defending champs are breathing down your neck on the table.
Yeah, I think at this stage too, Matt, all these games are now super important. You can't drop any points. You got to come away with at least 1, and if possible, obviously 3.
We're into the final third of the 34-match regular season. 9 to go, counting tonight for Pittsburgh. They're 11-2-1 since the start of the summer, if you will, right around the middle of June. Spinning play from Tosh, ran into some trouble though, and he gave it up.
Dabo again, getting his toe in there. He's really sharp, I'm telling you. He's closing players down, making it very difficult for them, and winning balls back like that.
He might be the Hounds' most explosive athlete. He impressed me in that way last year, too.
That's true.
Interceptions, tackles one. This time he overruns it a bit, but he gets back. No score, Lou City and Pittsburgh. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Pittsburgh's never beaten Lou City here at Highmark. 0-4-2 since the 2015 season.
Whoops.
But Pittsburgh's 3-1-1 down in Louisville, so figure that one out. I don't know, this matchup has been weird in that way over the past 4 seasons. Kerr, the volley, No one in particular going to be able to get to that one in white, at least. Taylor Pay corrals for Lou City.
Haven't seen DeSantis getting into it too much just yet. Do you know?
No, except for a couple of those crosses, Paul, right?
Yeah, that was about it. And it's kind of like drifted out. But he does that too. I mean, he comes in and out and kind of loses the defense because they don't know where he is, or they think, oh, he's not bothering, and then all of a sudden pops up with a
Paul,
one-on-one.
don't you think when you look at Steven DeSantis, you see almost, okay, that guy's the classic number 9. You know, the big target guy.
Yeah.
But he likes to play between the lines. You know, he likes to, and it's really Nico who's up high playing off the shoulders of defenders, and I think sometimes they do lose in that way.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how I thought that Dos Santos would be deployed this year, at the top, but
yeah,
I hadn't seen him play as much. I just saw the highlights, you know. I never saw him play, and as you say, Gene, he loves to get involved in the midfield, help win balls back. Heck, in his own box sometimes.
As we see him now, like right now, he's in the spot in between. He's making runs.
And now he's being the target.
He's on.
And now he is open but offside. Just barely. He wanted that ball quicker.
He wanted quicker, and if they found him quicker, he would have been on.
Dover just a little bit of a hesitation.
Yeah, and I think, you know, John Hackworth talking to Oscar Jimenez right there and saying, you know, you're going up high, and he ran right in behind you and trying to sort that out a little bit.
Reminder, you can find both teams on ESPN Plus, all the broadcasts, and happy to say that the USL Championship has signed an extension with ESPN Plus to continue the broadcast into future years. Looking forward to that. More national games on terrestrial channels too. So just search for either team on ESPN Plus. Get standings and highlights and all the rest. Dover trying to fend off Opino. And he gets some help from Greenspan, does Dover. And then Opino fells Greenspan, no call.
Nothing.
Probably because of the advantage, I would imagine.
I don't know.
If he did, he didn't wave advantage.
That's true. There was no signal from the referee. Elton Garcia, first time seeing him this year.
There's Dabo, wins that ball between three Louisville players, got there first, knocked it back, but put him out of danger and calmed things down again.
I've been very active. I mean,
very.
You can see how strong he is to the ball. I mean, quick to the ball right away. And, you know, but he's sitting deep, and that's allowing you know, Forbes and to go up a little bit higher and connect with Dos Santos. Of course, a lot of this is going to have to depend on Robbie Mertz and Kevin Kerr and where their positioning is. I see Bob Lilly trying to sort some things out with both of them right now with Kevin Kerr.
Kerr hasn't played as much as he's used to playing in the past 4 or 5 matches. Part of that is Bob Lilly wanting to give him some rest for the home stretch. Now Kerr is out there.
And you know,
tonight is in
also
starting role.
seeing Opino and Yam, both they're tucking in with Mertz and with Kevin Kerr. So again, a bit of a chess match going on between both of these teams.
No shots yet for Louisville. Morton pressed by Matsoso, but no real trouble there. Pittsburgh has 3 shots, not on target for either side. As Morton, the James Madison University product, will line this one up, try to send it deep maybe. Now he's directing traffic. 25-year-old from Philadelphia, Kyle Morton. It's his net this year. Austin Pack has just made a couple of starts in the second half of the season. Both of those with the Hounds on short rest. Dos Santos the flick on, one of his specialties, but it didn't hook up with Brett, and never mind.
Yeah, foul was called, yeah.
Wouldn't have counted anyway. Not the most terribly physical match so far. It's just the 3rd foul by my count.
No, I think it was a good ball.
Spencer making a run. Can he get past Greenspan? He drives one athletically, but pikes it over the crossbar.
Well, look, I think back to your comment, not a lot of fouls so far. I mean, both teams are very disciplined. I mean, the Hounds have, what, the fewest
yellow cards
in the league. Both teams are very tactical, very well coached, and they're not gonna get upset by anything like that. They're playing their game. They're sticking to their tactical plan. And as we said, it's going to be tight. And who's going to control the key moments of the game?
That is soccer, isn't it? The key moments. You can dominate for 85 and switch off for a moment, and it can hurt you. And with both of these teams, they have the opportunistic players to do that to you. Hounds with 48 goals this year, plus 20 goal differential. Louisville just a plus 8. They have 38. So Pittsburgh has added some punch to that defensive prowess that we saw last year that carried them to a 3rd place finish in the standings. Louisville was second, and they've never finished lower than second, but this is kind of a different situation for them trying to play catch-up. Dos Santos run through by Matsoso. No, it's a foul call against Dos Santos. Hounds number 8 doesn't like that.
Giving some strange calls there. DeSantis was waiting to hit it, and the player comes flying in and kind of obstructing him from doing it. So
I'll tell you the other thing I've been impressed with Louisville is how they are pressing us in the back. And, you know, they're very, very active with Yam and Opino. Masoso goes up also pretty high, and Spencer, who leads the line in the attack, they're not having him do that much. He gives a good ball.
Cutting through, Rasmussen dispossessed. Greenspan again, the last line of defense in front of the keeper.
So I think it appears like John Hackworth would rather have the speedy guys doing all the pressing and trying to disrupt the Riverhounds' rhythm.
Here we go down this right side. Kevin Kerr taking off as well.
Kerr making a run, and Dover couldn't get it there.
It's too late anyway. I think it would have been offside.
And then Dover called for the foul.
I agree with you, Paul. I think he would have been. And it's twice Jordan Dover had an opportunity to break a line and get something in behind, and just couldn't deliver that final ball.
It's a shame it wasted a tremendous switch of play from Dos Santos to create that space for Dover.
Yeah, DeSantis looked good, actually. Held up the ball, what he normally does, and did a great job and switched it completely.
Be a foul by Robbie Mertz.
Now the fouls are coming. Pittsburgh's gotten behind some counterattack situations here.
See, we talked how clean the game was, and there's like 3 fouls in a row.
There you go. That's usually how it works. I'm Matt Geica with Paul Child and Gene Klein. We are live from Highmark Stadium on the banks of the Monongahela River, just outside the Golden Triangle in Pittsburgh. And one of the premier matchups, definitely of the evening and of the season, for sure, especially in the Eastern Conference. Missed header from Adewale. Dabo has to help out, and he does again. Missed on the clearance. Mertz gives assistance. Ryan James sent it the rest of the way. And Brett is writhing on the pitch after taking a hard bump, but Kerr runs onto it. Hounds have advantage. Dabo giving wide, a little too far for Dover to get there.
A little too heavy for Jordan Dover. And now Lou City has a counter, and boy, the other side is wide open.
Opino. Nutmeg Adewale running on is Jam, and he falls just inside the 18, and it squirts over to Morton.
Wow, great recovery run from Canardo Forbes, or that would have been real trouble. That counterattack was on, and you know, I think Opino could have played him a little bit earlier, and it would have been real trouble, but he couldn't get it out of his feet.
Spencer, in fact, got a flick, as you see on that replay, on the ball to Jam.
There's 2 players wide open there. They were unlucky they didn't come away with a shot on goal. But like Gino says, great job of defending there.
Opino just couldn't find the angle, it looked like.
Yeah. He was challenged a little bit. He had like one touch was a little bit clumsy, and he really just couldn't get his feet to switch the field, because that diagonal ball on to I think Yam was wide open.
Abdul Jam, the former star at UConn, signed mid-season by Lou City, and he's been a revelation so far. 3 goals, 2 assists in 18 appearances. He's added some youth, native of Senegal.
Well, one of the great classic college programs of collegiate soccer history, UConn for sure. They've put a lot of players in the pros. Great head coach Ray Reed at UConn, and we've seen a lot of guys do very, very well in MLS and USL.
Referee says play on. Opino now on the right side. He's been left, he's been right. Squeezes past Dabo, can't get past James, and in fact, it's a throw-in for the Hounds. Ryan James manning the left flank.
If anyone finds an LG phone,
pretty physical tackle this was, and referee was going to go call it, and then he saw they played advantage, so it went on, so he couldn't really call it back.
To the team store. Thank you.
I believe that was Mertz who would have been called for the foul otherwise. Nearing the half-hour mark here in Pittsburgh. Sun setting. Yeah, we're getting toward autumn. It's been a spectacular soccer summer, though. If you're a fan of the Hounds, you have seen some outstanding results. By the way, down behind the play, one of the Lou City players, I can't catch a number at the moment.
He fell on his shoulder or something strange like that. It's his shoulder that he's holding.
Might be Jam, in fact.
I think
just talking about him. We'll have a look at it. This was on that advantage given. I apologize, that was Adewale who tackled him. Took out his right leg, and Jam hasn't risen since.
He's up now. He's moving okay.
It didn't look like that. We've seen worse challenges.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think he hit the ball and the player at the same time. You know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
He just came through with it.
Sure.
And went down as we see Bob Rulli
talking to his on-field coach, Canardo Forbes.
Yeah. I don't know how much Canardo's absorbing right now. But it's,
yeah. He looks like he's really listening.
But Bob's delivering.
That is the eternal question with coaching, right? How much do you give during a game? Because there's only so much that can get through in the heat of the moment. Halftime always a good time for longer talks, but got to keep it to bullet points usually during the action. So the Hounds start off with the ball after the restart. James
did a good job there.
Dos Santos holds up again, but this ball is behind the on-rushing Robbie Mertz. Jam. And right back to the Lou back line. Can Brett get there in time? No, Hubbard wins that race. A little disconnect there between Hubbard and his defenders. Bouncing ball through. Nico tries to latch onto that.
Still on there.
It is still loose. So like a handball. And was it inside the area? It was really close. Oh, goodness.
I don't think he's pointing to the spot.
I don't think so. I think it's inside the arc, but they can go to the assistant referee as the Hounds are suggesting.
Dover's coming over. Kevin Kerr coming over saying, hey, it was
I think it was inside, just inside the line.
Yellow card issued to Alexei Swahi, who fell down, got his hand up on the ball, and now it gets really interesting.
Yeah, Nico very upset. Pointing to all the Riverhounds are.
Our first booking is due to
6 inches out from the line.
It might have been. Well, look how close they're putting it to the 18.
Still in a great spot for Canardo Forbes. Well,
I think that was the right call. The ball was definitely still outside the box.
Yeah, the ball was out there.
Swahi's body was inside.
What was Swahi doing?
It was inside.
What was he doing?
Hard to say.
Yeah.
But Pittsburgh has as close of a free kick as you can get without it being a PK.
This is one where you just really get.
Going back to his old goalkeeper.
Yeah.
If he was.
This is one where you just really got somebody that can really hammer the ball through and hope somebody breaks down in the wall, you know, and
Forbes
gets out the way of it.
Lets it fly, and it's blocked. Forbes gets it right back, tries again, can't get it through the second time either. Forbes, who has a free kick goal this year, decided to try his hand.
Yeah, we've seen Canardo hit better ones than that, that's for sure.
What?
Well, it's getting contentious here in Pittsburgh. A foul called now against Dover, and a card has been given to Dover for the tackle late.
Is that Jimenez? It's down on the ground, I believe.
It's his corner.
See that shot again, because the wall did very, very well there. Nobody got out the way, or they didn't realize it was coming that hard.
Yeah.
They did a great job of blocking that.
Oscar Jimenez down, and the athletic trainer Scott Ritter rushes out.
Here we're going to see
right into the chest of possibly Toch, I believe, and wasn't really close to getting through the wall.
Yeah, that's where you hope that, you know, somebody's going to turn the back or twist a little bit, and you get an opening and get it through. It's really the only thing you can do in that situation.
Openo came soaring in, and
I don't think
not sure I see a yellow there. That's a foul, but interesting to bring out the card in that spot. Well, you may see on your camera shot right now on your device, some Lou City fans, some of their supporters have made the trip. They're down to our right. And hello to everyone watching in Kentucky on my TV 58.
Oh, that's a foul.
Good to have you alongside. And there's a foul against Louisville back the other way. Luke Spencer undercuts Toby Adewale.
And that's more of a yellow card. That's a deliberate, you know, caught the guy off balance and could really hurt himself, which he did.
Robbie Mertz pressured really, very early there, and they played him a ball that I don't know what he was going to do with it. So, I mean, the Riverhounds are going to have to open it up here a little bit through that midfield. That's a
Rasmussen
good
in,
ball.
Openo with Dover defending, interestingly enough, and it ends up being a goal kick off of Openo's chest.
Yeah, well, Dover did a great job tracking Openo on that diagonal run to the front post. So he was alert with that and stayed with it, thankfully. Because, Greenspan and Wally had to be pulled over a little bit.
They were out of it, yeah.
Yeah, and Openo was making that run.
Nip and tuck so far. A couple of yellow cards at the half-hour mark. The plot thickens in Pittsburgh. Also keeping an eye on out-of-town scores as well. I saw Tampa Bay was ahead. All of a sudden, the Rowdies have 5 losses. They were tops of the table for a long time. Now they're in 4th, and the Hounds can actually catch up to them with a win tonight. A bounder into the area. Brett settles Dos Santos. Oh, a tremendous save from Hubbard.
Yeah, great save by Hubbard.
Great layoff by Nico Brett there, and Dos Santos jumping on it. We know he's deadly inside the box there. And again, got his shot off, and the keeper did a great job.
Looked like so many of their combinations lately. It wasn't much.
No, I mean,
but it turned into something
out of nothing.
Does really well to get that shot off.
Yeah.
See what happens here on the corner kick.
First corner of the match. Forbes to handle. Low one front post. And redirected by James. And one of the Lou City defenders got the final touch on it. So replay it.
Could have been close to an own goal there. I think this one's going to be a longer one.
It will be toward the back post.
And another corner on
and
this
guess
side.
what? 3 in a row. That one was targeted for Joe Greenspan, who has a couple of set-piece goals just like that this year.
3rd time lucky.
Heard that before. Let's see if it pans out in front of the Steel Army. Nice crowd in the Paul Child stand tonight. Forbes lining it up. Again, the right-footed attempt to put the Hounds on top. And this time it's Adewale driving it toward the concession stand.
Well, I think he wanted to flick that on. I don't think he
I would hope so.
He was way past the goal.
Yeah, that was not a great position for them. So I think, it's good to see Steven Dos Santos come alive there. I was just thinking earlier, like, he's kind of disappeared for about 10, 15 minutes.
It was a long
really
time.
Haven't seen him. A lot has to do with they didn't pay a lot of attention to him. But, man, you can see where you just need that one little opening, that layoff from Nico, and he was able to get off a good shot and a terrific save by Chris Hubbard for Lou City.
Possession so far in favor of the Hounds. That's an accomplishment against this Louisville team, which averages nearly 60 on a game-by-game basis. Pittsburgh has 52% of the ball per the Optastat keeping so far. Forbes maneuvers his way out of danger. He's being guarded closely by Abdul Jam. But Mertz gave that one up in the midfield. Have to avoid those kinds of turnovers. Rasmussen, Openo, right back through to Rasmussen. Spencer dummied the play. I don't think he and Rasmussen were on the same page.
It was a little combination.
They look deadly when they get there. On the outside of the box here, they're getting some. Got to really try and break those up so they don't get in there. But we've been fortunate so far.
I think one of the things you've seen from both teams, and again, I think it's emblematic of their veteran leadership, is that in that attack third, there's a lot of composure, And
what a good touch by Mertz.
We've seen some layoffs and some good combinations for both teams.
That should be a free kick, I would have thought, but referee gave us a corner throw-in.
Yeah, it'll be a throw-in nevertheless. Mertz got there on the long ball from Greenspan. Dabo chesting. Finding Adewale pressing forward.
Bad giveaway from Toby.
Wanted to find Dos Santos. Fortunately, Greenspan is back to prevent Openo from breaking into the clear. Down to the final 7 minutes or so in this first half. Too strong from Adewale to James. And there's that pressure from Louisville. Jam in his face.
Yeah, Adewale a little bit off.
A little bit off. I mean,
he's not on,
misfired on a few passes.
His timing's a bit off.
Away and usually pretty composed on the ball, but Not a lot of openings, and you got to connect with those passes.
Oh, yeah.
Javelin throw there from Morton. We haven't seen that from him too much. The flick from Mertz, too much toward the middle, maybe.
I'd put this guy under.
Oh, Hubbard, well, there
Gotta
you go,
put
Paul.
him under.
That's going to be shanked, and it's careening out for a corner kick.
Paul, it's what you said earlier, you know.
I know. Well, you know me, Gino. I used to live on goalkeepers being panicking, me running towards them, you know, and if I could get there, they knew I was going to challenge them or hit them, and I could get away with it at that time.
I thought, well, maybe the first time it was a little bit, it's just one of those bad moments, and wow, that one was really shaky.
Oh, Louisville doesn't play on turf. Remember that.
Yep.
Unless you count the covering on their infield at Slugger Field. Short corner, Mertz. What'll this look like? Right back to Forbes. Wants to maybe serve it in. No, he'll make a cut. And now he serves it.
That
Oh
was
boy, corner
that
number
was a
5.
sweet move there.
It was.
I mean, he set that all up and then dragged it past the player, and player went for the first.
Yeah, I thought he
move.
was going to whip in that in-swinger on his right, and he cut it back to his left, and that caught them going. Alert play. I think it was McMahon that headed that out, and they're very alert for Lou City.
Yep, it was McMahon. Low corner this time, maybe not struck the best, but it hops back to Dabo. Robbie Mertz, those choppy strides, he puts it into the mix. Deflected away from Adewale.
Here comes another one from Kerr.
Kerr will cross it, Hubbard,
Oh, yeah.
and that one's easy for him. Hubbard gets rid of it quickly. He wants to connect with Opino.
Yeah, they want to go with a quick little counter to Opino.
Look at Dabo.
Nearly found Spencer, but Dabo won it back. How about it?
He's all over them like a blanket. I mean, seriously, he's
like butter on lobsters.
Yeah, he's not giving him anything.
I haven't heard that one before. Butter on lobster, I like it. We'll add it to the repertoire here. Well, Robbie Mertz has misfired on some passes there. This time he gives it away behind James. And Mertz has been playing as a defensive midfielder the last couple of matches that he's been in. Now he's back in his attacking spot that we saw him earlier this year. I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Well, they're both him and Kevin are playing a little bit wide with, you know, and then they'll come in once we get the ball. So they play very narrow. So, which is basically what you're saying. That is an attacking spot for them, and you can see right now they're right in there automatically, you know, and also pressing.
Forbes, the rare turnover. Opino, defended by 2 Hounds. Kerr throws his body in there. Yeah, how did that stay in play? Swahi back to Hubbard.
Put him under.
And Brett will pursue from behind, but this time it's a little too direct for Hubbard to connect to Taylor Pay.
That's out of bounds.
The Uton nearly knocks it off the scoreboard. Coming up at halftime, we'll have a look at Nico Brett's Player of the Week award from last week and see some of his recent highlights. Also, a check of the standings and recap of the first half. All coming up on ESPN Plus, and as I mentioned in Louisville on my TV, 58. Dover.
Nice ball.
Patient, and Brett will be the beneficiary of this. Brett to the end line. Crossing
Great
back against the
delivery.
grain. It's Kerr!
Oh.
Or it's a save. That was Mertz, pardon me. Or was it Kerr?
No,
that was Kevin Kerr. Yeah, but Hubbard made the stop.
Boy, I thought Kevin would have that one right in the corner, but he hit it straight in the center of the goal where the keeper was, I think.
Terrific ball from Brett.
He just wanted to make sure he got it on goal.
Really fine. Great delivery. Kevin Kerr coming right in.
Yeah,
Hubbard just able to get a hand on that.
Yeah.
But the Hounds have been looking really good here the last 5-6 minutes.
Kerr hasn't had a goal in a few weeks. It was a golden chance. 6th corner kick in the past 12 minutes. It's Forbes again. Dos Santos was his target. It was headed away.
Yeah, Luke Spencer, the big striker, was back there, very alert to just get a flick on that one.
Yeah, brought the big guy back for that, sure.
Well, Brett has 10 goals, but that could have been his 5th assist very easily. Just a couple behind Forbes for the team lead. We saw him last year assist on quite a few. Not a one-dimensional type of a striker, that's for sure. Morton with Spencer giving him some token pressure.
I think one of the things we've seen here in the last 10 minutes where the Hounds have picked up a lot more movement from Kevin Kerr and Robbie Mertz.
Yep.
As we see, look where Kevin is right now. And here goes
Dos
Santos
making the run.
Oh,
Hubbard
damn.
again. It was struck right at him, but Hubbard still had to make the reaction save. And Dos Santos kicks the goal support in frustration.
Yeah, because that was an opportunity, and he hit it right at the keeper again. That's two.
And as I said, Kevin Kerr making that run inside, and Dos Santos is pulling out wide all the time, and they weren't picking him up, and he was on. You know, so the movement of Mertz and Kerr and Dos Santos is creating a little bit of confusion for Louisville City right now.
Well, quite honestly, Dos Santos got a lot on it, just put it right at the keeper. Back post try this time, Dos Santos nods it down. Now he's got a couple of shots in a minute. Right on target.
Well, shots haven't been perfect, but the keeper's done a great job here and kept them off the board right now for this final of 2 minutes, probably or so after the regulation time.
7 shots to 2 now, or pardon, 8 shots to 2 after that last one in favor of Pittsburgh. The Hounds came into this match leading the entire league in conversion rate, 21%. So they've been efficient.
There's Dabo.
And again, look at it, like a magic trick there. Just reached in and plucked it out.
He's just sharper than anybody else. He's a step on everybody.
He's stepping out, winning every tough one-on-one challenge, isn't he?
Yep.
Louisville still in pursuit of its first shot on target. Rasmussen, 2 minutes of stoppage time will be added as Adewale takes a jaunt upfield. And that'll be an easy call for referee Garcia.
He was wheeling and dealing there.
Yeah, he was.
Strong take from Adewale. Just a few moments left in this first half. It's been exciting, no goals yet. Plenty of action. Pittsburgh knocking on the door late in this first half.
Yeah, they definitely had the opportunities compared to Louisville. Louisville maybe had, what, 2 or 3 chances.
There goes Ryan James. Oh, good ball from Greenspan.
Great
touch.
He'll
find, that's a couple of times that Joe's gone long, left flank. James's cross nearly settles in. Deflected away from Kerr by Jimenez, and Spencer for Louisville looks up the field.
Oh,
Openo, Jimenez, and Lou City pieces it together eventually. Rasmussen and Toch. And Swahi locates the channel. About a minute to go in stoppage time. Rasmussen, the Dane, unable to get it through the Canadian Dover, who now holds up play. Adewale was his outlet. Santos, can he yank it down? He will again. Headed away from Brett by McMahon.
Yeah, McMahon very alert there.
Yeah, Hounds had numbers up there, Gino.
They did.
They had like 4 against 3, even 5 with Dos Santos.
No, that's what I said. That you know, the movement now, their midfield, they're really pushing Kerr, Mertz, Dos Santos up with Nico Brett, and you know, it's creating some problems for Toch and Rasmussen to really deal with that and to track them in those positions.
Hubbard, no nonsense here. Not going to matter. Time has expired in the first half. Well, nothing on the board, but it's been a lot of fun. A tight match on the banks of the Mon this evening for you. So far, both sides can at least claim some positives from the first half, but Pittsburgh certainly on the front foot, boys, as we conclude 45 minutes. What do you think the thought might be from Pittsburgh? Just continue to play off what they did in the last 15?
He's got to continue what he's doing. I mean, we're knocking on the door right here, Matt, and great opportunities. Very unlucky, obviously, because the goalkeeper, most of the shots were kind of right at him, and he got his body in the way, but good saves, but creating some great chances. I think they'll come out firing on all cylinders again, try and put some pressure.
I think Louisville City, they're going to have to be able to sort out. We said at the beginning the midfield and how that was going to work out was going to be one of the keys of the game. In the last 10-15 minutes of the game, it was Pittsburgh's midfield that was taken to Louisville City.
Sure.
So Pittsburgh looking like the team that hasn't lost at home since last July. We'll see how it pans out in the second half, though. Things can change. We'll be back in just a bit on ESPN+.
Welcome to Moe's!
At Moe's, we've always been real Southwest. And we're proud of it. It's in our name, after all. And we've always been real people, using real Southwest flavors, making real Southwest eats. And we've always built everything right on the line, fresh, just for you. Real, fresh Southwest. Welcome to Moe's. Try Moe's new Moho chicken, made with all-natural chicken breast and a refreshing citrus sauce.
All right, that's enough, you two. Don't paint your brother. No, you can't eat the clay. What can I say? Moms just know. I'm Christine Sorensen, and as a mom, I know parents know a lot. But for the few things we don't know, there's Kidsburg, your go-to resource for all the great things in our area for kids and families. Everything from kid-friendly events, creative learning, and help for parents. It's every Wednesday on KDKA TV, emailed to your inbox and online at kidsburg.org.
Okay, we hear you. Due to popular demand, #1 Cochran Nissan's 3-store supergroup just added store number 4.
Introducing #1 Cochran Nissan Cranberry and grand opening offers at all 4 stores. Lease the all-new Altima from just $209 a month or 0 APR for 3 years plus $2,000 customer cash and $1,000 extra for trades at #1 Cochran Nissan now.
Gotta keep them separated. Hey! Man, you're disrespecting me. Take them out. Gotta keep them separated. Hey! Don't pay no mind. We're under 18 and we'll be doing anytime. Hey! Come out and play.
Oh, maybe not.
Back at Highmark at halftime. Nothing on the board yet, but we anticipate a scintillating second half. It was a very intense first half between Pittsburgh and Louisville, 2 teams desperate to get up that table and secure a top 4 spot at least in the Eastern Conference. I'm Matt Geica with Paul Child and Gene Klein. It is starting to feel like the playoffs here in Pittsburgh into the final 2 months of the USL Championship regular season. One thing that's been going well throughout the summer, though, has been the play of Nico Brett in his second season with the Hounds. Last year, 15 goals, one of the top goal-scoring seasons in the history of the franchise. This year, he's got 10, close to on pace to that production. And guys, it's been impressive. The assist here to Dos Santos last week at Ottawa, but the 2 finishes as well, 2 goals and an assist. Well, Gene, we've seen him, I think, develop a little bit here in Pittsburgh, too, even at age 27. And you see a goal like this, and it's as good as it gets.
Well, Nico's always been a very dangerous player. We saw him come through the ranks at Robert Morris University. So, in a sense, he's been around Pittsburgh for a while. And always a guy with tremendous pace, a lot of power, and really the ability to get in good spots as we see him there. You know, and so he's always on the end of things, and he's always playing off the shoulder of those center backs, which make it very dangerous. And he's a guy you can never lose track of.
Yeah, Paul, when you look at him there, he gets the dirty goals and he also gets the pretty goals. That's been the beauty of it this year.
I think it's been fantastic, to be honest with you, Matt. They've really gelled together, DeSantos and Nico Brett. You can see in that highlight there, both of them, you know, giving each other perfect balls, great passes, working for each other, and they really play off each other. And we said earlier in the season, the chemistry was getting better and better and better, and it's come to, you know, where we're seeing some output now by both of them scoring goals and getting assists.
I think Steven DeSantos is the perfect complement for Nico Brett.
Definitely.
Because we saw last year Nico had to work a lot harder for everything that he got. Not that he's not working hard. He's still working just as hard, but the efforts are paying off.
Yeah.
25 league goals for Nico already in less than 2 seasons. That's 6th on the franchise's all-time list, so he's climbing quickly. Well, next week it'll be the last team to beat Pittsburgh at Highmark, invading once again. Our old friends in the Charleston Battery, they'll be here for a 7 o'clock kickoff. And Charleston right on the playoff borderline, so it'll be a desperate team, no doubt about that. But it's always interesting when Mike Anhauser and his black and gold boys come to town, because these 2 franchises have been battling for so long.
Oh yeah, we've been watching them for 20-some years. So it's great to see Charleston still up there and still doing well and still battling. And of course, Mike Anhauser's been around the league for that time period. So they're a surviving franchise, and they're still thriving. They're not surviving.
Yeah, definitely.
And they'll be competing for the Old Guard Shield, which is still a thing. Pittsburgh and Charleston are the only two teams
are we
left.
the only ones left?
Yes, and it was a 2-2 draw earlier this year, so
okay.
this will determine it, I suppose. Paul, you look at the schedule, now it starts to lean more toward away games, and there's some tough away games coming up, including at Nashville, at Birmingham in October to finish up things. But the schedule, I wouldn't say it's very easy down the stretch. The Hounds took care of some business against some expansion teams, some lower division teams earlier this summer. Now more of a challenge.
Yeah, definitely a challenge, and you can see we play Nashville and then we play Memphis 3 days later. So that's that has an impact on the team as well, I think, Matt. And yeah, Indy 11 are always a tough team, and we got Loudon, but you never know with those guys. We only beat them 1-0, and they were having trouble all season. So I just think you've got to take it game by game, and I think we're doing that. And I think Bob's going to do that for sure, and just go into each one and try and come away with the points.
Put a circle around that matchup at Indy, by the way, with the two teams tight in the standings, and we'll look at that a little bit later in the show, I'm sure, again. But that one stands out to me as one you definitely want to see down here on the south side. Well, let's take a look back at the best from the USL Championship and USL League One. And when we return, we'll look back at the first half. Stay with us.
On top of the box, strikes it true, back of the net. Oh, what a finish, Bustamante.
The attempted an amazing goal. Or maybe a goal of the year candidate from Rodrigo da Costa. And here we go again. Kadima! Oh, what a strike.
Has been Indy 11. And there's an effort from distance with Irving off his line. And that's a goal for the highlight reel there.
Oberg there. Plua, shot, goal! Plua with the bicycle! Conrad Plua! Dillon goes for goal. Oh, what a strike from Justin Dillon!
Now Gallardo for his brace tonight. Still Gallardo. A nutmeg of St. Phil, what an opportunity for Joe Gallardo, a brace, and it's 4 goals for the Richmond Kickers. Mikey Rowe now. Rowe takes it on, and it's in! What a strike! And Tormenta! Very patient, here's Bermudez now back on his left foot, a curler for the top corner! Oh, what a goal! Bermudez! Torre will shoot. Oh. He will score. Talbot Torre. Let's just say that you walked in. Oh, something. Something's done. Oh my goodness. Lubin, what a save. Outstanding individual effort. They stand together.
Phoenix hasn't lost since May. Well, there you see one of the premier matchups coming up. Phoenix against Las Vegas, and how about a 17-game win streak, carrying that into tonight against San Antonio. And just across the league, final 7 weeks of the regular season, 31 teams within 10 points of playoff position. In the East, it's really down to 10 or 11, or pardon me, 11 or 12, but boy, everyone's so tight within the playoff zone. And as I mentioned, coming up on Wednesday Night Soccer, we look forward to that one from out west. Phoenix and Pittsburgh, guys, they've been the 2 top teams since June.
Yeah, it's Phoenix just can't be stopped out there in the West. Of course, we haven't had a chance to see them except on ESPN Plus, but they're the team to beat in the West. But the Riverhounds have been exceptional all year. and at home, almost invincible, Paul.
Oh, no. I mean, you can't say anything bad about them playing at home. I mean, you can even see tonight that they're really staunch in defense. And I think Louisville's only had probably about two or three chances, really, Gino, where they've been dangerous. And the rest of the game has been in midfield, and the rest has been maybe shots by the Hounds. And it's good to see that. I'd like to see us play Phoenix or somebody like that, or one of the West Coast teams, and see how we do against them.
Yep. Here's the scoreboard. Tampa Bay, Hounds wanting to keep pace with them. They are in the lead, so that's an important one. Also, North Carolina FC, not far behind Pittsburgh in the standings. Just saw the Eastern Conference. Next week is more of the haves versus the have-nots. This week we're seeing more of strength on strength, at least across the Eastern Conference. And some later ones there. Memphis and Swope both out of it. Ottawa trying to recover. They've had some wobbles lately, including some induced by Pittsburgh. Here's your Wednesday night soccer lineup. Some East, some West. And you can find all of that at ESPN.com, of course. Highlights coming up from the first half. And we'll get ready for the second half from Pittsburgh after this break.
Pleasant Valley Golf Club, nestled in the Laurel Highlands of southwestern Pennsylvania, is now open to the public. Enjoy 18 holes of championship golf with a new island green and fully stocked pro shop. Our clubhouse features a large ballroom for weddings or private parties, 2 restaurants serving delicious food, a sports bar, 2 state-of-the-art golf simulators, and an outdoor patio with gas fire pit and picturesque view. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, now open to the public.
I should have been a cowboy. Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour 2019. Friday, September 27th, 7:30 at Highmark Stadium with special guests Clay Walker and Gabby Barrett. Toby Keith. Whiskey for my man. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Trusty Entertainment. Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC season tickets for the 2020 season are now on sale with special early bird pricing. Until October 5th, fans can enjoy a 20% discount on all season tickets from club level to the supporter section and everything in between. For more information on season tickets, please visit riverhounds.com or call the box office at 412-865-GOAL.
How do you turn you have cancer into you had cancer? You have us. Which means you have CAR T-cell therapy, your own nurse navigator, innovative surgery, a panel of pioneers. Everything it takes to help more patients turn you have cancer into you had cancer. If you have cancer, you have us. The AHN Cancer Institute.
Some close calls for the Hounds late in that first half. Let's take a look at a couple of those before we kick it off in the second half. And, well, what chances they were eventually developing. Brett and Dos Santos involved. The handball just outside the area from Alexis Swahi.
Yeah, interesting one. Carter Forrest plays this one into the wall twice, and it just really couldn't penetrate that one. So it's just been a very, very tight game, but we certainly saw the Riverhounds pick it up the last 15 minutes, and
this was a good opportunity.
A great opportunity from Dos Santos there from a layup by Nico Brett. Maybe the best one, and a terrific save by Chris Hubbard for Louisville City.
I think there was a header coming up as well that was a really good one.
Flying volley.
Oh, yeah, volley. That's it.
And you see the frustration on big number 8. Duba feels like he should have popped in goal number 9. Couldn't do it. Night has fallen in Pittsburgh. Looks like they're waiting for us at the center circle, so we will oblige and give them the go-ahead for the start of the second half here on ESPN Plus and MyTV 58 in Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you for watching. I'm Matt Geica. Paul Child and Gene Klein are flanking me in the broadcast booth. It's our pleasure to be with you once again. Just a couple of home games left. Really, we've had so many during the summer, and now it's going to shift away from Highmark for a little bit. Dos Santos cracks it upward, but 3 of the next 5 are here, so we're going to enjoy that.
I want to see what happens here, Matt, in the second half. Like Paul had mentioned at the end of the into the first half, the Riverhounds really have to continue doing what they've been doing, because we saw them really pick it up. And I want to see how Louisville, if they adjust at all, and what little tactical nuances John Hackworth might put into play here, because they're going to have to find a way to deal with this. And for me, I think, Paul, the key is going to be some transitional moments. You know, who's going to catch somebody on the break and be able to break some teams down. Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, you're going to see some funny calls too there. That was a good push in the back, you know what I mean, on DeSantos, and the referee let it play on. And maybe it's a call from a referee, and you know, could be, yeah. And but he hasn't called much. No, he hasn't. He hasn't. But it's going to be real tight, as we can see right now. I mean, look at nobody's giving anybody any. Yeah, very tight. It's very compact, very tight in the midfield. And as I said, is it going to be that one little a moment where you catch somebody in transition, or is it going to be some beautiful little combination, or is it just going to be a hiccup? A hiccup like we saw Solani with that diving handball at the top of the box. Yeah. You know, 6 inches inside, and that's a penalty. We had that penalty kick from Nico Brett that decided the first matchup down in Louisville back in April. Feels like ages ago. That was the Hounds' first win of the season. They were in danger of coming home for the home opener. Winless in 4. They had a couple of the draws, so it wasn't all bad, but that was a big one to get. This ball nearly squirted through for Openo. You saw some stats flash across the top of the board there on your device screen. 50% possession for either side, and the Hounds, though, definitely made the most of their touches on the ball. They had a 10-2 shot advantage, 4-0 in terms of shots on goal. 7-0 corners. 7-0. Yeah. So it gradually became more and more tilted down to our right. Now the Hounds are going to try to do the same thing down to our left. Pittsburgh in white, Louisville in its signature purple. It'll be a throw-in for Jordan Dover on the far flank. Well, we talked about this, we talked about Nico Brett, player of the week, and how effective he's been and the progress he's made as a player. And for me, I think the dangerous moments have come from him. Either, his ability to get in between the two defenders and open up space for DeSantos or Kevin Kerr, or just get behind them and put pressure on them a little bit, like right here. And here we go again. Him going. Right on the sprint, he's directing traffic. He wants Mertz to close out on this side. And what'll come of this, McMahon will chest it down. Hubbard did a little bit better with the ball, but he likes to take his time to line it up. Yeah. Brett came flying in, made about a 30-yard sprint, and it ends up being a turnover in the midfield. So it was worth something, but Spencer steps by Adewale. Luke Spencer, the captain, to the middle, has an open man. Rasmussen, how about that recovery run from Kevin Kerr to knock it away? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Hounds right back there in the box on a very effective counter from Louisville. So again, you can see the team discipline for both sides. Sure. Kevin did really well there. Just caught the ball right, and referee didn't call it a pass back because I don't think it was intentional. Just And Dos Santos turns the corner against Pay. Now he'll stop up. Going to the bag of tricks. Tried the cross, not high enough. Good idea. Just needed to get it a little bit higher over the keeper. There was somebody at the far post here, and I think it was Nico. It was. It was number 9 making the run. Short run to the far post. McMahon. Louisville with some space for one of the rare times coming over the midfield stripe. I was just about to say, we haven't seen him come in there. Oh, that's a good delivery. Jam to Toch, and it's the first corner for Louisville. The ball off the head of Mohamed Dabo, who recovered. Louisville's come out putting the pressure on straight away this time, and starting to get some chances, which they didn't get in the first half as many. We talk about Pittsburgh and its aspirations for the top 4. Louisville's never finished lower than 2nd in the USL East standings in 4 seasons. So being in 7th right now, if they want to get to that home position, they probably have to win this game. So I'm sure John Hackworth reminded him of that fact in the locker room. A looping corner, Kyle Morton, two-fisted punch. Still not out of danger, though. It'll be Brett running by, and now he gets the feed from Forbes. Needs some help here. Needs somebody to get up there with him. Got Canardo, Forbes joins. It's a 3-man counter right now. Yeah. Make it 5. Kevin on the back post, but Canardo Forbes going to have a go.
And he swerved that one well off target, but aggressive from the captain, Canardo Forbes.
Yeah, you know, you don't normally see Canardo bring that back. Like, he continues with the flow of the play, and I thought he was going to try to find Kevin.
I thought he was going to hit the far post.
That ball, you know.
I think Bob Lilly was a little bit upset with him taking a shot there when he had players in the box that could have made something of it.
And normally, you know, he's so good with those decisions, especially on the, you know, to find those guys on the break. But he said, hey, maybe I want this one, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And if it had gone in, we'd have thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Absolutely.
Well, of course, if you hit it, it's perfect. 2 goals on the year for Forbes, 7 assists. Trying to become the first Hound since Matt Dahlman in 2013 to get to 10 assists in a season. He's got a legit chance. Well, there's a professional foul from Robbie Mertz with Rasmussen looking to sneak by him.
Look, he didn't get a card there.
I agree with you. It's, I mean,
they're asking the referee.
He's kept his cards in the pocket. I mean, he's been, well.
Yeah, Mertz has kind of been out of it too, you know. He's not been in the mix a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean.
He's doing a lot of defending, a lot of chasing.
A lot of chasing. I mean, there were.
Well, he's been so good this year. Hard to remember sometimes. He is a rookie. This is just his 19th professional game. Mertz, well, make it 21 if you count U.S. Open Cup, but similar concept. The native of Upper St. Clair, PA, South Hills suburb, went to the University of Michigan. Now playing on the pitch where he watched the Hounds when he was growing up just a few years ago. But here's the restart for Oscar Jimenez.
Oop.
And he mishits this one. A break for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was a waste, actually, wasn't it? Get those opportunities, you got to make something, at least try to make something out of them, don't you, Gino? I mean, you got to get somebody on the end
absolutely.
of it.
You have to force Morton or to make a save or to make a decision at least.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And
cause trouble, is it?
Yeah, and you know, I'm sure that Louisville coaching staff doesn't want to see stuff like that.
Ball a little too heavy from Brett, but Pittsburgh will get the throw here. Ryan James playing against his old Bowling Green State University teammate and Alexei Swaki, the defender. Now Bob Lilly is having an in-close personal chat with Mertz.
Mertz and
James. What are you doing after the game?
Yeah. I'm sure that was the thrust of it. It hops loose to Kerr. Thought about going to the flank. He'll pull it back. Dabo, good little ball.
Good ball, yeah.
2 and 3 touches from Forbes to the outside. Canardo Forbes.
And
it bounced off his body as it came back toward him.
Yes.
Blocked there by McMahon.
When he turned to hit, I thought, oh, good. It's going to be another corner, but it bounced right off.
And it hit him right back.
Second half presented by #1 Cochrane, home of the clearly better car buying experience. Come on out and kick the tires at #1 Cochrane. That ball's too far for Abdul Jam. Already has a game winner this time with Louisville.
Just watching Coach Lilly right here. I mean, I think his arms are going to be tired after this game. He's been pointing out so many directions throughout the match.
Yeah.
Dos Santos just gave him the sign like, I don't even understand what he's trying to say right now.
He's going like a windmill.
Yeah.
Jam to the feet of Rasmussen. Good ball ahead.
Keeper.
Openo, but this will hop in on Morton's chest. Spencer was the intended target of that.
Good job by Morton there. He was going to give that to Kevin, and Kevin was screaming for it. Didn't see the player closing him down and realized he quit. So good job by the keeper. They're all over Dos Santos here, climbing on his back and everything. And
it was close to a foul call last time the Hounds came back up the pitch.
Good ball by Robbie Mertz.
James blocked by McMahon. James gets it back. It's up in the air, spinning. Dos Santos throws both hands overhead and says, I was here.
Hounds getting back into it again, though, now, trying to take some chances and getting some, you know, closer to the goal and creating some pressure on Louisville.
Yeah. Might take just one tonight. That's all it took in the first matchup between these teams this year. Louisville missing some veterans tonight on international duty. Speedy Williams and Sean Francis off with Jamaica at the CONCACAF Nations Cup. Paco Craig sitting out for yellow card suspension. He's a fourth-year defender.
The Piccolo out.
Del Piccolo, he's been out for a while. Niall McCabe, one of their leaders in chances created and crosses.
But you can see the quality of the depth they have because they're still playing. They're still sticking to their plan. Everybody's on the same page, and they're battling. Who can come through and make the play to get the goal.
James lines up across here. Dos Santos back to Dabo, back to Dos Santos, edge of the 18. Toch closed him out. Kerr's on the run. Pursuing there. The corner against Jimenez.
Oh, good
strong challenge from Adewale, and then Toch knocks Dos Santos to the pitch.
I thought a foul on Adewale. I mean, he came through.
He's pretty
his
close.
Arm flying.
It was pretty close.
Yeah.
One of those where it could go either way.
Yep.
And as a result of the play continuing on, Pittsburgh's going to get a free kick from 20 yards.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity again, and hopefully they can make something of it. They got to put about 5 guys in the wall here, so somebody's got to be.
Yeah, we've had Riverhounds have had a couple free kicks in those spots, and can they do something with it?
The drumbeat of the Steel Army and their counterparts from Louisville. It's been an awesome atmosphere here at Highmark, just like it was last September for a 2-2 draw between these two sides.
Referee sprayed a line behind the wall, and they haven't moved yet, and he's trying to get them to move back.
The line's not working. Magic spray.
It doesn't.
Well, Forbes and Brett are back there behind the ball. Brett, not his best, not even close. And Nico's had some good strikes this year.
Some wasted free kicks on both sides.
Yeah,
that
was a real waste again, just like the last one from Louisville, you know, to nobody, nowhere. Just kind of swing at it and hope for the best.
Looking at the replay, his plant foot slipped. Jean defended well by Toby Adewale.
He did well to do that second.
Oh, Toby's been on the wrong side of some balls, and that time he recovered.
Yes, he did.
He's on the tightrope at the moment. James clears it ahead. Brett in pursuit. Swahi, or pardon me, Pay rather, gave it up. Mertz.
Oh, well done, Mertz.
Fine work. He continues to grind. Does Robbie.
Game's getting a little choppy and a little sloppy right now, though.
Yeah,
you know, we've lost a little bit of rhythm and tempo. A lot of unforced errors and giveaways. I mean, and so what team is going to be able to sort of recover their mojo, get a little bit of tempo going, get a little flow going, and try to break down the other side.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just a lot of individual battles.
Yeah, there's nothing really happening. It's just going end for end and then knocking around in the middle of the park at the moment.
Contrast to the first half, which saw some good team play from both sides, especially Pittsburgh late in that first half. Masoso errant on the delivery to Jean. Pittsburgh will gladly take it back. Forbes facing that 3-man Louisville press. Three
good
defenders
job
in his area. Dos Santos unable to turn it cleanly. Sean Toch ripped it away.
I think he gave up on it too soon.
Toch keeps running. He wants another return ball from Jean. He's not going to get it. McMahon switches play. Jimenez had a look. Rasmussen drove it and it was rejected. The boys in purple right back on it.
This is better from Louisville.
Yeah, they're definitely keeping possession and doing a good job with it, making the Hounds chase.
Now they look like the team that leads the league in passes completed.
And again, so I said earlier, it was getting a little bit choppy, but now they've settled down a little bit but it's still difficult to break the Riverhounds down.
Openo, the Frenchman, to Spencer, turns against Adewale, he's in, and Morton hops on the loose ball.
Well done from Cal Morton, came off his line very, very quickly. As soon as you saw that little separation from Spencer, he was on top of it.
Yep.
So, very good play from him, and good, like I said, good sequel from Louisville. But the Riverhounds were back, they were compact, they had to drop a little bit lower, Paul, but you know, their lines were tight, and it was still difficult for them to find any space in behind.
if you're a soccer fan, those sequences are fun to watch. I don't care which team is doing it.
Oh,
there's a turnover. Dos Santos forced it. Mertz on the move.
Hit one.
Robbie Mertz, the cutback, and it doesn't work.
He's been just holding on that little bit too long and he's trying very hard to make something happen, and it's kind of getting him in trouble. I thought he'd take a swing there and have a shot.
I did too, Paul.
Chance for Louisville now. Rasmussen a little behind McMahon, but he'll be able to double back.
And we're back down this end again. It's like, watch back and forth here.
It feels like a match that was at 50% possession at the half, 50-50.
Yeah,
substitution.
Robbie's coming off.
Well, that's it for Mertz.
Velarde.
One last chance, and he couldn't make anything happen. Rookie for rookie. Mertz out, Velarde in. Anthony Velarde, first-year professional out of California and Fresno Pacific of Division II NCAA. Velarde on the year, 3 goals, 3 assists. He's made some things happen. He's rolled the highlight reel a couple of times. Now he has to try to defend here against Matsoso and get some help from Forbes in the area. Kenny Forbes drew the call from Matsoso.
Good job. He's on. Oh, he's got a free kick, yeah.
Yep. It'll be a restart. So again, Velarde in for Mertz. Had some struggles tonight, did Robbie? One of the rare times we've been able to say that this year, though.
Yeah, he still really works hard. I mean,
he worked hard. Just one of those games, it just wasn't really connecting, was it,
sometimes.
Paul? And I think we said that the midfield was so tight and compact, there was not a lot of room. I mean, even we haven't seen Conrado Forbes control the tempo like he normally does. So it's both sides again recognize that area, and it's been difficult for anybody to get any sequence going of passing.
Velarde with his first few touches, dispossessed at the edge of the attacking third.
Yeah, he's got to get into this game right now because it's high pace and he's getting under pressure real quick.
So he's the kind of player too, Velarde, I think, that is pretty composed on the ball, likes to settle it down, likes to play, likes to play simple, and maybe that's what Pittsburgh needs. They need somebody to really have a little bit of composure and control in the midfield. The key for him has been what's his decisions been, so it's going to be important he plays quick and fast. And
unlucky there, James. He just needed to get a touch on that to get it to
Spencer.
Velarde.
Settles.
Oh, great layoff from Spencer.
Openo against James. 1v1. Into the middle, turning Rasmussen. He's stopped. Morton makes a great stop. The rebound, blocked, rebound again, and it's cleared.
Oh, great stop from Kyle Morton.
Oscar Jimenez nearly put Louisville ahead, but he couldn't beat Morton, who comes up with, I believe, his first save of the night.
Oh, Dos Santos was on there for a second. Oh, that's a great ball.
Long one in. Oh, my.
Harrison had that red from
the
beginning, or Hubbard, excuse me, from the beginning. But, wow, terrific. And that all started with the big man, the big striker, Spencer, who was able to prepare that and get a great little layoff out here to the right side.
Yes, he did.
And Pittsburgh was struggling there for a bit, so good sequence. And, again, you saw that little composure there that we talked about in the attack third to create that chance.
Pittsburgh scrambling again. Adewale, no foul called. And Adewale's yelling at Openo to get up.
Louisville pushing numbers up in the offensive end now, Gino. Took 5 guys there. We're going at it. They really see the breakaway, and it's like, let's go.
It was 5 against 4 there. It was only the defender's back. Ooh, it's getting exciting on the south side. Here's the cross.
There's the cross there. And
great save.
Yeah, terrific save. And then the Greenspan blocked that one. He didn't even know it.
No, with his backside.
Yeah. The old posterior save.
Yes. Jimenez seeking his first goal of the year. He's not going to get a better chance than that, maybe. Velarde called for the foul.
He missed
after
the
all
first
that.
one, and now the referee called this one.
McMahon on his backside. Pat McMahon is a former Rochester Rhino as well. Won the USL Cup with Lily in 2015. Cincinnati the last 2 years before FC Cincy moved to MLS.
to see the kind of impact Bob Lilly has on this league, where, you know, so many of those players with a Rochester connection, a connection with Bob Lilly, and been able to identify so many players, give them opportunities, and also develop them and see their game progress. They're able to continue playing at a high level.
When it's one of these independent clubs like a Louisville, usually you have one or two that have played for Bob with Rochester. It's just a matter of how many. Coming out of the back with it, Rasmussen, the Dane, spent last year in his native country, then came back to Louis City, where he made a name for himself in the pros.
And he's a good player too, but he's another one like hasn't had the normal impact that he had because it's you know, it's a very, very compact and hotly contested midfield right now.
Spencer with a strong step off the touchline. Got a step on Velarde. This is served in too hard from Matsoso.
This is where the Hounds have got to capitalize on this, get a transition, get a breakaway, and because Louisville are really pushing in there, Gino. If they can get a switch of play real quick, those kind of balls are not going to work. They have been
really combining very nicely there in the attack third of the field, Paul. But that could open up some opportunities in transition for the Riverhounds.
Jimenez chopping his way along.
I think, again, it's what we're saying. Here's a nice little combination again.
Wait for it here. Openo, Jom into the area. It's bobbling around. Jom again, blocked by James.
Jom had that shot, and he tried to slot that in between like 3-4 guys.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he was going to go for that back corner.
Yeah, let the Hounds off the hook a little bit there.
Again, some great play from Louisville. And we see this one right there. I don't know who he's trying to play that back to. It's like
maybe Openo?
It had to have been Openo, Matt. I think you're right.
On the extended give and go, perhaps. Second corner for Louisville in this second half.
That's a little bit too unselfish on that one. But here's
Morton juggles and grabs.
Yeah, the old double cut. But he got it.
Picks it off. Well, Louisville's been one of the few teams this year that have put the Hounds into scramble mode on some of these situations.
They have.
They pass the ball so well.
Yeah. And what I was thinking is, like, we had talked about the outset of the show, like the veterans that they have in the leadership, and they have not become rattled by by what's going on out there or by the constant pressure, and have got a little bit better as the game has worn on and try to find some spots. And they've been way more dangerous this half.
Spencer, what'll this call be? It'll be a corner.
Corner.
Ruled to be off Toby Adewale last.
Spencer, Toby let Spencer know he was coming for that one. He was not going to ease up, and he was going to make sure he got the ball out. He clipped him as well, so bit of a wake-up call.
This has been one of the great battles of the season in the Hounds schedule. It's been enjoyable to call. Hope you've enjoyed watching it. I'm Matt Geica with Paul Child and Gene Klein. Try to guide you along. Look at that second half possession. 74% for Louisville.
Yep.
Remarkable. Jimenez with the right foot. And everyone's pointing in the direction of their choice. It'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, 74% possession. I mean, that's, you know, I think, again, like they have a lot of veterans. They do play a possession game. They've stayed composed and you know, under pressure and are continuing to try to play their game. They haven't been rattled. They haven't got out of it. There was a couple stretches there where it did get a little bit disjointed. But and as for the Hounds, they need to get that back. They've lost a little bit of that. And so it's been Louisville.
Well, there's Dabo again trying to make something happen by winning possession, but it's handed right back over to Louis City. Adewale was just run right off the ball. I can't believe
this
that wasn't
this
a call.
referee just doesn't see those for some reason.
Now it leads to a chance. Openo inside the touchline. Pittsburgh scrambling. Loose ball. And it'll be a throw-in for Louisville as James just did enough to corral it and keep it from being a corner kick.
I mean, I actually thought I thought it was just Spencer going straight up, Paul. I really did. I think he's a big, strong guy, and Adewale bounced off him.
You think that was it, Jane?
Yeah, because I know you'll never take a referee's side in your life. So I'm gonna
I just
take
thought
the
he'd come
opposite
right in
view.
and hit him. It's over. It don't matter.
Speaking of big, strong guys, Dos Santos shielded off.
Yeah.
Pardon me, Matsoso near the touchline. So that settles things down for the Hounds, but they can't be feeling good about how the last 20 minutes have gone.
No, they can't. And they're going to have to pick it up, and Louisville has to start. I think their confidence has really grown.
Yeah, it's getting better and better as the game goes on. And as you say, Hounds have got to kind of change that around and start doing some things themselves.
I'll tell you, though, some great individual battles going on all over the field.
Velarde, Brett drops off. Dos Santos, we've seen him rip it from there. This time it was blocked by Swaki. And, well, Greenspan wanted to go right back up the pitch with it.
Yeah, I thought he should have. Dabo just decided to go knock it backwards. He could have turned. He had a lot of space behind him.
Well, Lou City, there's a reason why they're the back-to-back champs. They get it together. They play their best in the biggest games.
There's 2 balls on the field, and now Nico Brett's in an offside position.
Yeah.
Don't need that right now. Dover.
You should stay
Good ball
out
to the
there,
outside. Kevin Kerr, the club's all-time leader in assists. Kerr settles, crossing. Dos Santos, he had to lean back for that, and he couldn't guide it down.
He's got to realize there that, you know, somebody's got to give him a call or something, because he's gone past the near post. That's something really difficult to do, to get it. Either flick it on would be better than try and take a shot. And there's a player behind him. I think it was, I don't think it was Nico Brett. Nico Brett was out wide. It was somebody else. But
Louisville's going to make a substitution.
Yes.
George Davis, the fourth, another one of the veteran guys that we've been talking about. And we'll see what change John Hackworth has for Lou City.
George Davis, the fourth, one of the most prolific scorers in the history of this league in the modern USL era, going back to 2011. He has 61 goals. This is his 10th USL season.
Wow.
And he'll be replacing the youngster, Abdul Jam. Meanwhile, play continues on. Louisville has a chance. Jimenez, Opano, slows it down. Opano cutting inside. Rasmussen's open, and it's blocked again by Greenspan. 2 clutch blocks from big number 20 in this second half.
Yeah.
But Pittsburgh is on its heels. And they're fortunate now to not have conceded at least one by now.
Some alert defending, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, definitely. We've defenders have kept us in the game here, actually. Louisville's getting some real chances.
First substitution for John Hackworth and Lou City. Jam out in the 74th minute, just barely.
Yeah, you know, I think that one shot that Jam tried to play through, and I know George Davis is trying to crack that to the back post. So.
Most likely. George Davis a couple weeks ago had the 88th minute winner at Charleston, doing what he does best. The native of Lima, Ohio, 32 years old. 8 goals last year, just a couple this season, transitioning into more of a substitutes role as George Davis.
Yeah, 10th year you said, Matt, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, with Richmond, I believe, for a while, and I think he might even start out with the old Dayton Dutch Lions. If
that's actually correct. Yeah,
is that correct?
Yes, it is. Good memory.
I was looking him up. I don't know how those things pop into my head sometimes.
Dayton Dutch Lions, a couple teams that no longer exist.
I do remember because we.
That's not
he was a key guy for Dayton. So.
Referee Garcia says advantage.
Short-lived
at least.
Dayton Dutch Lions.
Velarde turns. And he played over to Dover, but it's kept in. Kept in there by Kerr, slicing one toward the 6.
Boy, Kevin's looking for Dos Santos, isn't he? It's like he just has not been able to find him.
One of the few times Louisville has had to defend in recent minutes. And they're right back at it. Opano, Greenspan. How about that? I don't know how he did it.
I don't think he did. He just ended up
stopped the ball as he stumbled to the pitch. And now he starts the counter with Kerr.
This is where we've got to counter-attack and do something.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Popped it through to Velarde, who's in some space, but now surrounded by 4 purple shirts.
They're getting back too, Gino.
So open up a tad, which, you know, the Hounds have to take advantage of that when they can.
Now Louisville with everybody behind the ball. Lou City hasn't lost since July. Pittsburgh's lost just twice in the last 3 months. It was Pittsburgh's turn to push late in the first half. Early in the second half, it's been Louisville, and now the final 15 has arrived at high mark, and there you see 9 goals for the Hounds in the final 15 this year. 9 out of their 48.
Good movement here by the Riverhounds and good passing, and now showing a little bit more composure and a little bit more patience on the ball.
Louisville
just trying,
work,
making Louisville chase a little bit.
Giving Lou City some of their own approach. Making Lou City defend. It's Forbes well receded now. Pushed there by Rasmussen. Someone's got to make a move. It'll be Greenspan.
There's Kevin coming into those pockets again.
Her in the middle of the park to Nico Brett. The Hounds' 10-goal man. Brett cutting to the outside. Defended by McMahon. Crossing and nearly had Velarde at the spot.
That was a great ball in. Just nobody coming in for it, following up.
James, the quick throw. Can he connect to Kerr? He can. But it's ripped away from him by Pay. And Matsoso gives it to his keeper, Hubbard.
I think the Riverhounds, when they get an attack going, what we're finding is that's when Kevin Kerr is being a little bit more active in the pockets between the back line and the midfield line. And he's finding that space, and he's able to connect with those guys. Ball, then they can run off him.
Yeah, that great combination there to get out of that.
Geez.
Offside. The flag is up with Toch sending Openo in. He had Spencer in tow, but not to be. Folks, come up on Wednesday night soccer on ESPN Plus. Las Vegas against Phoenix. We'll see if Phoenix is going to be able to keep that win streak alive later tonight against San Antonio. But either way, it's been an unreal run for Phoenix Rising. You can catch them on national TV coming up next Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. Wednesday night soccer. Las Vegas always has something up their sleeves in home matches as well. Brett. Well, eventually it'll come to James. A little disjointed. But Greenspan. Adewale, the Hounds' 2 towers, working back and forth.
That's a good ball.
It's a long one for Kerr.
Kevin was calling for it.
And he will find it. How about that? And get a throw. Just inside the corner flag.
Yeah, he did well to get a
that's
throw
a great
out of
ball
that.
again.
And they caught him napping a
Tempted
little bit.
cross. Oh, my. Intercepted and cleared.
Again, just took an extra touch, and it could have been knocked across the box on the ground and, waited.
That was Canardo Forbes, who was breaking toward the 6.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin did well to reach that.
Yeah.
That ball, got a throw and took the throw in quick, and I think Louisville stopped for a second, and wait to see what the call was, and the Hounds were almost able to get something out of that.
Another long one. This looks like it'll be less successful. Maybe the second ball is a chance. Matsoso for Louisville, though, controls and makes the poised dish off to Pay, and McMahon works the flank. Lead ball, too much of a lead ball. It's taken by Adewale to Velarde. Kerr ran into trouble there in the midfield, and the defensive play of Matsoso leads to a turnover. Rasmussen. Jimenez plants his foot.
I'll tell you, where we saw Mo Dabo really winning some key battles in the first half, I see Matsoso doing it for Louisville. He's been the one really winning some key challenges and starting some key attacks, and been very, very active here in the second half.
Rasmussen lost control to Dos Santos, and Pittsburgh gets it back here. Louisville pressing with 3.
Now they got to push up. Need to get out there.
Pittsburgh has a slight chance now to get it up the field.
Get an opportunity here.
Kerr has 2 runners. Kerr, that was a shot or a cross, but it was blocked by Toch. Toch to the touchline. Kept it alive. But it's Adewale. Out positioning Luke Spencer. Final 10 now. Thought for the longest time this game had to have a goal. Now I'm not so sure.
I really thought for that one stretch a goal was going to come, but now it's settled down again. So, it's, like any tight game like this, is taking different turns.
Sure, and the pace.
It's,
I mean, Louisville were going crazy for a while, and now they've kind of backed off a little bit.
And then opened up a little bit, and then, so there's just been you know, different times during the game, or it's been Pittsburgh, or it's been Louisville, and that's kind of what we expected with two quality teams like this.
It's about the time in the game where Nico Brett scored the winner at Louisville back in April. Pittsburgh has played just one 0-0 draw this year after a handful of them last season. This year there have been more goals in Hounds games, both for and against, but mostly for. They've amped up the attack without surrendering too much on the defensive end. The only 0-0 tie against Charlotte Independence, that was the game the Hounds actually dominated while playing with 10 men for the entire second half. A memorable one back in May. They probably should have won it.
Looks like the Hounds are going to throw in a couple of subs now. Fresh legs.
Yeah, so is Louisville City.
Richard Ballard, the Louisville native, his first appearance of the season. He's been injured for a while, but he'll take the place of Spencer.
Yeah, he's an Indiana product, Matt. So see what he can. See what role he is going to play. I don't think. Yeah, he's not going to go up front. They're going to put.
Oh, well done by DeSantos, and Nico Brett just stood there.
Still in. And Nico peeled off. Unlike him.
Didn't think he was going to get it. And then had an opportunity, but was too late.
Two substitutions coming on for the Hounds at the next stoppage. Christian Valesky and Danny Rovira. Valesky the forward and Rovira the midfielder slash wingback. We've been told that Valesky will replace Dos Santos. And Rovira will take Kevin Kerr's place.
Yeah, Kevin's been working really hard there. I'm sure he needs a break, but won't be happy he's going to get pulled out.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy, and honestly,
I don't know why.
Yeah, I like what he's been doing, Paul. I thought he's the one that's been creating a little bit for us.
Sure.
George Davis the fourth, now wearing the captain's armband with Spencer checking out. Slices through and controlled the ball.
Oh.
George Davis lunging down, pokes it to the corner. Running onto it and running over it was Richard Ballard. And it's a goal kick for Pittsburgh, and this will give the substitutions a chance to come on. Well, it's a 39-goal man for a 39-goal man in the terms of USL careers. Valesky taking the place of Dos Santos. Valesky, a couple of goals, 3 goals, in fact, on the year. Checking in. Native of Las Vegas, 26 years old.
So some fresh legs and see if he can do something with the fresh legs.
Yeah, really.
Something different on the Louisville back line.
This is just Rovira's 5th appearance in USL play. He played extensively in US Open Cup. But Rovira, the rookie from Vermont, University of Vermont, I should say, native of Columbia. This is a rare chance in a big game to show something.
Oh, good job there. Dover
stood his ground against Ballard, and Pittsburgh gets the benefit of the foul call. Ballard blasted Dover down.
It looks like for Louisville, their substitution Ballard is going into the midfield, and Openo is going up high, where the big guy Luke Spencer was. So, and there's Masoso again, making it difficult for the Riverhounds in the midfield.
It'll be a heck of a moment for Valesky to have a signature strike. He and Dos Santos were both signed. They were both intended to provide a lot, and it's just been more about Steven than it has been about Christian. He's been in better form for most of the year.
Yep.
Rovira confronted, but throw in Hounds. One goal is probably going to do it if we do see one. And here's Valesky with his first touch. Left foots it over to Dover. Back to the corner, Rovira running, but lines were crossed there.
Well, Valesky's a proven goal scorer, as you mentioned, and you know, with you know, about 5 minutes of regulation and whatever stoppage time there is. I mean, he's the kind that maybe just needs that one opportunity, can get in into the right spot and maybe get a game winner. But we'll see if somebody can pull it off here.
Last home game, all it took was one against Loudoun, but that was scored in the 3rd minute. We're at the opposite end of this one.
Of course, it was a tight 1-0 game when Pittsburgh played in Louisville.
And a goal kick coming up again now, so.
Morton to put it into play. Ticking down in this Eastern Conference showdown in USL Championship. Been glad to have you along, whether you're watching in Pittsburgh or Louisville or parts elsewhere. Mishandled by Opino. Hounds go at it. Valesky charging but couldn't get there. Not a lot of passes being completed by either side at the moment.
Good win there.
Good job from Rovira.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah, good decision.
Greenspan out wide. Big Joe puts the right foot to it. McMahon tries to corral. George Davis can't finish the job. Wouldn't expect that much in terms of stoppage time. We haven't had much of anything in the second half, in fact.
Just a few substitutions, so.
Maybe a minute, maybe two at the most.
I'd say two.
Got to put some pressure.
Hounds try, but they were late arriving on Matsoso in the defensive midfield. Rovira. Forbes boxed in by Rasmussen, among others. Nearly a giveaway from Dover, but he gets a break. It's off the leg of Ballard and out. So the Hounds have used their 3 subs. Rovira and Valesky and Velarde. Haven't seen much impact so far. Louisville City with a quick restart. To the sideline. Ballard against Dover. Retreats. Jimenez curling one. Adewale blasts it out. Forbes desperately trying to create some possession time and can't do it.
Yeah, they're really taking their time now. Louisville kind of like running the clock down a little bit, Gino. Not in a super rush to go forward.
No, and they really haven't had it. The Riverhounds have been shutting them down pretty well, Paul. And again, they're just trying to hold on to it.
Sure.
If they can keep it level at this point, I think we'll be happy. You know, one of the things they've been so used to playing those long balls into the big man Spencer, and he's not there anymore.
No,
you know?
he isn't.
It's like so they've lost a lot of possession trying to play those balls in, you know, and provide some depth. And I think they're better when they start knocking it around and opening up the game a little bit.
And on the Hounds side, they don't have Dos Santos at the top either anymore.
Yeah, no.
But Valesky can do that.
Yeah, he can.
I don't know if Opino is that kind of player for Louisville.
Doesn't seem like it. Forbes to the middle with that header. And right there to take it, Mohamed Dabo. Forbes to Velarde. Can the Hounds create something here? Again, they hand it over. But Velarde runs through Tosh. Ball's free. Brett with some strength to get it. To Valesky and back to Nico Brett. Could this be the chance? Brett driving wide against Tosh. Not going to get a call there. It's a goal kick.
The fans wanted one.
Still Army wanted it, but
that was the loudest I've heard them cheer for a while.
It's good they know they're still watching.
Yeah, that's good.
89th minute, you know.
Past a certain point, I think the best that Brett could have hoped for was a corner kick, but Tosh didn't touch it.
I was surprised how Brett had the energy. Actually, he's been running all day. It's nearly 90 minutes, and he did very well to get where he did.
Free ball.
Joe Greenspan, good step.
Oh.
It'll be 3 minutes added on, a little more than we anticipated. So if you're pulling for a goal, there's more of a chance. Rovira goes negative to Morton. High in the air near midfield. Dabo locates Anthony Velarde. Brett. Run through by George Davis with fresher legs. Davis definitely showed him there.
Yeah, he's definitely running out of gas. He's used a lot of energy, and you could see there.
He might have burned the last bit on that run down the left side. Just a minute ago. That's so-so. Well, it's funny, with a ball in front of you, you can find some push.
It is strange, yeah. You're
if there is that
energy
chance.
from somewhere.
So 3 added on. Louisville with a win could get within 1 point of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh with a win could climb into the top 4 in the East, at least momentarily. Forbes.
Nice touch. He's
played
got
it around a
time.
man. Forbes, low ball in. Valesky turns, flicks it back. No, couldn't get it in play.
Good build up from Pittsburgh that time, though, and again, that final ball is not coming, is it?
No, and a tough ball there for anybody to do anything with and turn on it. He needed a better touch on it, and you can see trying to spin around there and already out of bounds before he could even get a foot on it.
Last stoppage time goal for the Hounds came way back against Nashville. Pittsburgh trailed 2-0 in that one. They came out of there with a draw. This draw would feel a little different. Pittsburgh had the better of it in the first half. Louisville was pressing for a goal big time in the opening, 30 minutes of this half. But since then, it's settled down into more like this, back and forth. And not a lot of chances. Here's Rasmussen trying to change all that. Rasmussen, a cutback. He is open, and he couldn't strike it cleanly. He's saying he was, he's saying it was a handball is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, but he never really got a hold of that.
No,
He was
he
in
didn't hit that
great
cleanly.
position. Here's an
Here comes
opportunity.
Valesky.
Christian Valesky's ahead, maybe. Can he get by Pay? Valesky still
on
with the
his
ball, and he lost it to Pay. Frantic play late now. This game's getting stretched out suddenly.
Boy, that was a great opportunity there.
Davo slides through, and Ballard will come out of there with
win
it.
by Ballard.
But he can't beat Greenspan.
Yeah, he has to get that ball behind to open on. That was, but Greenspan's done very well to cut a lot of those balls off.
Yeah, he has.
Maybe a minute left.
And now they're coming at him. They better get.
Magnus Rasmussen stepped over it. James defends well.
I thought Rasmussen really had the
He had the
shot at the game
greatest
there.
opportunity there for sure.
Just dubbed it, really, with the left foot.
Yep.
Not sure if that's his strong side. Didn't look like it in that case. But yeah, I figured at least Kyle Morton would have been called into service to make some sort of an above average save. Throw in Louisville. That may have limited the Hounds from doing anything offensively here in the final minute.
He's still trying to push players forward and wants to get a shot off.
Toj to Swaki. Kind of a loose ball there, and Rovira against Jimenez.
Oh,
and the referee Garcia points to the spot. That'll do it from Pittsburgh for just the second time this season. A Hounds game ends with no goals on the board. Intense, yes, but no finish at either end for both sides.
No, there were a few chances. There weren't a lot. No. And it was just, as we said at the beginning, we were expecting a very tight game, a very cautious game. And whoever, if there was going to be a winner here, they were going to have to take advantage of those moments, and no one could tonight.
Yeah,
Hey,
really.
look, third straight clean sheet for Kyle Morton at the very least. The defending has been great for the Hounds lately. That's their 8th clean sheet at home, their 11th overall this season. And the unbeaten streak stays alive, but Pittsburgh's going to look at this one as a missed opportunity, especially late in that first half when they had Louisville on the run.
Yeah, they did. And I'm sure that it was a great battle, though. You got to both teams really just never gave anything away, never made one, They had a couple of chances, both teams. I mean, Morton saved a couple of great ones, and the keeper for Louisville did the same thing. So it was pretty even all the way through.
No, it was pretty even. A lot of terrific individual battles.
Yeah.
Watching Spencer and Joe Greenspan battle all day was fun. The Soso, the midfield, everybody did a terrific job.
More final thoughts, highlights, and stats after this on ESPN+.
Separated. Hey! The man you're disrespecting me. Take him out. You gotta keep them separated. Hey! Don't pay no mind. We're under 18 and won't be doing any time. Hey! Come out and play.
What do you call it when Western Pennsylvania's largest automotive retailer begins selling the region's most popular brand?
Chevrolutionary. which also describes our grand opening offers.
Introducing the all-new #1 Cochrane Chevrolet, where you'll find a special 2-year lease on a sporty Trax from just $99 a month. The unequaled Equinox as low as $139 a month, plus $1,000.
I should have been a cowboy.
Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour 2019.
Red Solo Cup.
Friday, September 27th, 7:30 at Highmark Stadium with special guests Clay Walker
Won't be long.
and Gabby Barrett. Toby Keith.
Whiskey for my man.
On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Krusty Entertainment. Toby Keith and his That's Country Bro Tour.
One of those games where the scoreline doesn't quite indicate the action on the pitch. Yes, 0-0, 0-0, however you want to call it, at Highmark Stadium between the Riverhounds and Louisville City. But at the same time, I think we had an enjoyable night at the park here on the banks of the Monongahela River. Matt Geica with Paul Child and Gene Klein. Let's look at those highlights. There were some close calls for both sides and pretty good delineation between the halves because Pittsburgh was pushing hard in the first half. Here's a Ryan James cross that got the opportunity started.
Yeah, that was one that DeSantos wants back. He just didn't quite time it perfectly, and the player in front of him made it very, very difficult.
Yeah, there were a couple crosses there early in the first half that we just couldn't get on. And
yeah, this was a good one,
That was a
Jim.
good effort by DeSantos. He had another one to the back post a little bit later that I'm sure that one he went back also, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. This was a great ball down the line, and this is a great cross here.
Yeah, this is the one that
And a
Kevin
header.
Kerr.
Brett to Kerr, right? This was Kerr's best look in a few games, and hands on head after that. Couldn't direct it to either side of the net. He put it right on the middle. And well, with all the looks that Dos Santos had on these crosses, he had
Here's the one
four.
that Santos hit back.
Probably the best one.
Hit that one right to Hubbard.
So yeah, give credit to Chris Hubbard too, because he
just-
kept the Hounds off the board here, even if maybe he didn't have to stretch for some of these, but you still have to not let them go through.
No,
you.
he was in good positioning most of the time, and here's a good effort here.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Second half.
Kyle Morton is able to read that little turn by Spencer.
Good move by Spencer. He's a big guy too. That
Yeah.
was a nice move, and really had an opportunity. This was a good one too.
This is a good one here too. And
Great save.
Yeah, I mean Kyle Morton stayed big, stayed strong, didn't commit, and cut the angle down very well.
Morton's only save, and he easily could have been a foul against Dover on Rasmussen on the second look
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But the ball went through to Jimenez, and Morton made his best stop in several weeks there to keep it clean. 4 shots to 1 on target, but possession in favor of Louisville. They tilted it in the second half. That's what you'd expect out of Louisville, though. That's the way they like to play, and eventually they had their way in that regard, at the very least.
They really came on strong for about 15 minutes into the second half, and I thought, boy, had the Hounds on the heels, backing up and creating chances, and then he kind of like they ran out of gas and took the foot off the gas again, and it smoothed, evened out a little.
Well, both sides had different stretches of the game, didn't they?
Yeah.
And for sure, I thought the first half was Pittsburgh, the second half was more Louisville. But even within those, each half, both sides had moments and had stretches of the game where they were playing very well.
Yep.
The Hounds stay in 5th due to that draw. There you see Louisville City still lurking behind 4 points. Back, Tampa Bay jumps up to 2nd. It's amazing how many spaces you can leap with a win, and they did pull it off 3-1 against Charlotte. So the Rowdies trying to reclaim that spot they've had for so much of this season, which is #1 in the East. A lot to be decided, as you see there with, what is it?
Well, it's
7
so tight,
points.
and there's
separating.
not a lot of difference between between 1 and 7 for
all
sure.
of them, yeah.
And whoever gets in the playoffs, a lot of things can happen. There's Bob Lilly doing his best Pete Townsend imitation. And,
Wow. Well, we'll get the band back together next week. We'll keep it with that theme. Charleston coming in. Pittsburgh with a chance to pick up some points against the team below it in the table. For Gene and Paul, I'm Matt saying good night from Highmark Stadium.
And good night.
Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Hubbard and his defenders.
Oh.
Bouncing ball through. Nico tries to latch onto that.
Still on there.
It is still loose.
Oh,
Like a handball. And